I don't think we need it. I'm just afraid of having to cut from one part to another, and then it. Yeah.
We'll get the song.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Drew, interview, take one.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're out here with a Neil C. Luke production doing something that we haven't ever done before, and mixing and matching people that maybe would have not met otherwise.
There's no love, there's no love, there's no love, there's no love like your love shining on simple love. There's no heart, there's no heart, there's no heart, there's no heart like your heart shining on simple love. Whatever happened to our simple love? It got complicated, got all screwed up. When I look into your eyes and smile, see the love coming back for a while. Whatever happened to our simple love? It got complicated, got all screwed up. When I look into your eyes and smile, see the love coming back for a while. There's no kiss, there's no kiss, there's no kiss, there's no kiss like your kiss shining on simple love.
Cool, that sounds really good.
Someone brought pancakes? Is that what I'm hearing?
My A game.
Oh, A game. Cool. So I'm going to give this a shot here. James, Dustin, Jordan, Trent, Drew, Jeremy, Aaron, Josiah, Pete, Molly, Zach, Allie, Zach, Elliot, John, Mandy, John, Max, Danielle, Matthew, Emily. Thank you all so much for coming out. Jesse, welcome. It's a pleasure. I'm glad you could make it.
Sometimes you get, speaking for my own self, you get something about halfway done and it just kind of gets stuck and doesn't go any further, and then it kind of falls between the cracks and is gone because you never came back to it. There's something missing, that it just didn't click, and this is where a collaborator might be the key
It's kind of weird working with new people, to be honest with you, because some of the guys in my band I played with since I was 9 years old, and it's been weird every time that I've tried to experiment with other people. So this is going to be a first, but if I was going to try it, it was going to be with this group of people, because everyone here is good, and like I said, you don't have to kind of fake it. You know what you're getting into, and everybody here has talent.
You get into a comfort zone with people, and that's great, but it's also fun to, like, let's just mix that up and turn it on its ear and play with, you know, someone I've never played with and see what happens. It can either be a disaster or it could be like the best thing I've ever done.
The other exciting thing, though, is I'm not very good at socializing too much with people, but I've seen all of these people here. I only really know Neil and Jeremy, but I've seen all of these people here play in various groups before, and I admire all of them. They're all great musicians in here, but I've never actually spoken to any of them. You know, I've just seen them play before, so it's nice to actually finally get to play with them.
The thing is, there are so many talented musicians in South City alone that for us to find ourselves in the same building is a small miracle. And when we keep that in mind, if we take it one step further and we actually collaborate, I mean, there's just no telling what the end result will be.
Basically making an album with a whole bunch of different, like, songwriters and, like, musicians playing together. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that an accurate description of what you're doing, Neil?
The thing is, when I started this project, I had this, like, anxiety about stating this huge idea and then not following through.
Sure. People thought you were flaky, right?
Right. Well, I mean, most musicians are flaky, you know, but
I think Molly said that. We're going full circle here.
Exactly.
You don't know what's going to pan out, you know? You don't know if there's going to be any conflict or drama or songs that don't get finished at all, or, you know, or really amazing songs that come out of it. You don't know what's going to happen, you know? Especially since all of us musicians are flaky, you know?
I am here for this project, which I'm kind of very foggy about. And what is this project?
Well, from what I'm gathering, I didn't know if we were going to pick teams in like an old dodgeball style, like out on the playground, you know, pick captains, and then you say, hey, I want Jordan Kiley, but, you know, I've never worked with her. She's cool. I like the way she sings. She has a fiddle. I pick her. You know, you go to the next person. Who do you want? Oh, I want Jesse McClary. That dude can sing. I'll take him. I thought that's what it was going to be like. But one thing I think is the good thing that everybody needs to remember is we got like a good recording engineer. So if you want to get your tunes out there, I mean, shit, you can grab your favorite drummer that you see in the room, or if you're familiar with any of them, grab the drummer you want, grab the bass guitar player you want, grab your favorite singer, go in the studio, and Zach Gibbons will record you, and you will have that for life.
With disc one is we basically took all these songs that a bunch of musicians had just sort of lying around, and we wanted to collaborate on all of them.
Okay. Oh, this is something that's been coming down the pike and has needed to happen for the longest while. I feel like a commonality with everyone involved in this project, and even other artists who aren't involved in the project, is that we were like the only kind of person in like our part of like the county or whatever who had the same thoughts, the same ideas, the same aspirations. And then when we all moved down specifically to the South City area, and even more so to the Livery, we all found each other and, you know, kind of realized we weren't as crazy as we were led to believe.
I hope it like shows, you know, like, all right, there's something happening in the middle of nowhere. You know? That's kind of what I hope. If it gets out there amongst the world, I think it should, right? No, you? Yeah, totally. Why not? I agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah, so basically how it all starts is we all meet up at Zach Gibbons' house, Loud House Studios, and we sort of hear the song and see what the artist has in mind for their tune, and then try to fill any of the spaces that they might not have filled.
Holds a pill, talking to his friend, laying there so cold and still. Now, Mike, we've traveled with lots of men that roam, a back door steps for a dining room and a doghouse for a home. Now, I made a promise to you, pal. If you cashed in before I'll take you back to Vandalia to be buried there with your friends.
I thought that would be like maybe like at the intro, that little part about being buried with your friends, maybe.
A back door steps for a dining room and a doghouse for a home. Now I made a promise to you, pal. If you cashed in before I'll take you back to Vandalia to be buried there with your friends.
Won't you lower me down, way underground, where I can sleep as late as I want. Won't you gather around, take a look what you found, talking all the good, forget the bad for now. I'll be feeling no pain in the Vandalia rain. My race is over, nobody won.
Clickety-clack of the railroad track, he's taking his last ride.
Funny stuff, right here.
Two Irishmen, digging in the ditch. Oh, one called the other one a dirty son of a Peter Murphy. Had a goat, a very fine goat was he. I took him to the blacksmith shop to keep him company. Out all night, out all day, hunting for a hunt. The wind blew up her avenue, and there I saw her country cousin Willie sitting on a stump. If you don't believe me, you can kiss my ass, me no question. I'll tell you no lies. If you ever get hit by a bucket of shit, be sure and close your eyes.
I'll be feeling no pain in the Vandalia rain. Race is over, and nobody won. I'll be feeling no pain in the Vandalia rain. Race is over, and nobody won. Race is over, nobody won.
We rode in the morning about 4 at night, empty truckload of bricks came through our back alley and almost went over and killed a damn dead cat, so we rushed to the emergency office just in time to see King Arthur sitting in one corner table eating vinegar with a fork.
Yeah.
How'd you hear about this?
Neil, C. Luke contacted me on Facebook.
At the beginning, I guess we drunkenly were talking about it at delivery.
And we were several beers into it.
We met at the gig down at delivery.
I started working as a bartender and hiring bands to come in and play for my nights. And throughout the course of the last couple of years of doing that in St. Louis, I came across Neil Luke, and he had an idea.
Basically bringing together St. Louis musicians that have always been playing shows together, always been running into each other around town, to actually make music together instead of just seeing each other play.
From what I knew at first was this was going to be a record, and it slowly turned into documenting the process.
That thing is deadly. That fucked media.
You taking that out and going, taking out all these microphones. If it were recording, that would be great. Man, talk about behind the scenes. It was recording, I mean.
She had a sad grin on her long face and a short temper with heartache. So if you fucked her and leaved her, you get the business end of her meat cleaver. But she was raised, the butcher's daughter, but he was a drunk who didn't know how to be a father. Just a man who didn't understand how to keep his hands off of her. So she ran away at 17. She got dirty, she got clean. When she was drunk, she got mean, but that's the only time she loved me. I met her in the back of an old Daft bar, smoking on another man's cigar. She said she'd leave if I had a car, so I asked her how far. She just pointed up and said, take me to the Head Start.
Sir, if you would like to interview us, we will have a fucking hell.
For sure. All right.
Right here. Just do it.
So here's the thing. We're all talking about, basically we're making this project, or I'm making this project. It's called STL Here and Now.
Yeah.
It features a bunch of St. Louis musicians, all collaborating. And so I'd just like to get what you guys think about St. Louis music.
Oh, we love the Lou and St. Louis music.
Exactly.
Here, so St. Louis musicians were badass. Badass. Talented, vocally, musically, everything was fantastic tonight. But we're left in the fucking middle of nowhere.
I think for a long time St. Louis has been thought of as being sort of a dead city, you know, like not much is happening here. But we all know that are living in it that so much is happening.
Perfection. So yeah, actually what we're talking about is the STL Here and Now project, and you got asked to be in it.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
They come in from the big cities with their clothes and their hair, and they've been practicing and writing songs and playing songs, and making records and sending them out to DJs and going on the WeberTube and marketing and doing their clothes and their hair, and they've been working hard. And they come to St. Louis, and here we are in our little in our poo-poo podunk scene, and we've been practicing and playing songs and writing songs and playing with each other and playing for each other. And that's all we do, and we take dead aim and we kick their asses every time.
I haven't been around the world much, but I think a lot of cities have like probably have their own special little place, but I mean, this is the one I'm in, so this is the one I love.
It has the really high moments and then some of the lower moments, you know. I mean, there's really great things that happen and moments of magic, and there's also moments of just, okay, we did a gig, you know.
But the tradition is still being carried on, and it's undeniable. It will never stop. It will be here forever. And just to get to participate in it a little bit, just to get your name on KDHX one time, the independent music radio station that people give money to keep the music going, because music is the best drug, because you can't come down from it and it doesn't hurt you. And that's what we're all doing together, and we're all supportive, and that's what we're doing, folks.
Well, there's a lot of St. Louis pride coming out here for sure, but I mean, any city where you can, you know, put 10 bands on a bill and have a for sure gathering of a community come out that's all pumped about playing and music in general, I mean, that's a successful music town, hands down.
I'm from New Orleans. I would think you can't really find another city like St. Louis where there's live music, 10, 15, 25 venues a night or more, where you can find live music any night of the week. And you just can't, even in Chicago, you can't even find that, I don't think.
So you can go anywhere, any night of the week, and see world-class music in virtually any genre.
The history of music starts on the Mississippi, at least in modern music, rock and roll, soul, R&B, and certainly the blues.
St. Louis has been known for having a lot of great musicians like Miles Davis and Scott Joplin, and I think the underground scene is very strong if you know where it is.
I don't know, what the fuck can I say? We have a really diverse, beautiful crowd of musicians here in the city.
St. Louis is pushed off to the side. It's not one of these major cities that seems to be a part of the current trends or whatever. But the soul of the city is too huge. It cannot be denied for too much longer.
I feel like this is the highest level of, or the most musicians I've known at a time. That it seems like everybody we know is in a band or is a sound person or has a recording studio. So it is the most music city I have ever been in.
I would say they're the fewest obstacles to doing what you want in St. Louis than any city that I've been in, which is Seattle and Chicago, and you know, we visited a bunch of cities, and there's just like, I don't see any reason that people who want to make music can't make music, or who want to run a venue, or who want to make a documentary, or whatever the goal is. I feel like it's completely available. And you know, like behind us is a stage that somebody built in the back of a bar that you couldn't do that in Chicago. I don't know why, but they would have zoning that wouldn't allow that to happen. So for bands and all of the components of the music scene, St. Louis is a cinch in the best way.
It's kind of one big studio or one big practice space. Like there's not many excuses to not make music.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's one thing I've noticed here, and I've traveled a lot and been to other cities. Is like there's like a zero pretentiousness, I feel, and like, you know, especially this general area. I don't get that. It's like people are just doing what they do, and it's not like a pretentious like thing.
We knew that we were a jazz city. We knew that we were a blues city. These were the things that made up our cultural identity at one point. And once we realized that was something that had passed, recent generations have been like, well, let's get that back. Let's do it again. Let's do the thing that we already did, and let's do it again. And to me, that always struck me as like, well, why? What? I mean, we did it already. and that was really cool. You know, you can learn from it, you can take from it, but don't try to recreate it.
Cultural identity of St. Louis hasn't latched on to music the way it has baseball. If you look at a town like Memphis or Nashville or Chicago or New Orleans or Austin or New York, all of these towns have used music to define themselves as cities, and St. Louis hasn't done that. We've just used the Cardinals, which is great. The Cardinals are wonderful. And actually, it kind of maybe works to our benefit because it's all so accessible, so easy to get to, so under the radar for everybody, you know. And as a guy working in St. Louis, I can tell you it's an ideal town to be a musician because there's so much work. If you just try a little bit, you can play every night, once or twice.
If you mean a music city is a place where the music business can lead you a path to fame and fortune, you know, despite Pokey and Foxing and, you know, a few others, I think, yeah, that's a fair assessment. St. Louis is not, if I were trying to have a national career in music, I don't know that St. Louis would be the city I would choose to try that, to have that national career from. But if you mean by music city, a place where people are making great music and are supported internally in making that great music, there's an audience, there's venues, then I think St. Louis is definitely a music city.
St. Louis music has a lot of underground bands, but when they come, they deliver.
I think everybody is pretty much in the same league or lower. It's not an ego thing, because we're not all household names. That's not what we're striving for anyway.
All right, you want to give it a shot?
One, two, three. I gave it to my neighbor just to show I did not hate her, and I gave it to a girl named Emmy Lou. Consider it a favor, you can always pay me later. Yeah, I give it to a babysitter too. I gave outside behind the bank, outside behind the church, and I'm no longer welcome at the zoo. I gave it to the mailman, but I swear I had my eyes closed, pretended I was giving it to you. I gave it to a woman who works every other Wednesday, that pharmacy next to the Walmart store. I gave it to a prostitute, she gave me all my money back plus 20 bucks for 15 minutes more. A friend of mine, Zach Miano, on a road trip for 4 days down to Texas, and we hung out at Rudyard's Pub because they were having an opening for a fence that he built in front of the place. And at one point, Zach asked around, so what's the best tattoo parlor in town? We get out there and we say, we heard you're the best tattoo parlor in town and tattoo artist. So I say, I want a heart with my wife's name in it. Her name is Kathleen. And they charge by the letter. And I have $45 in my budget, my tattoo budget. And they said, well, you don't have enough money. I can't do Kathleen. So I say, okay, do a heart and do K-L-E-E-N.
spit in my ear. Now her name is tattooed on my
sunshine through the hills when I was young. Had a daughter, the apple of my eye. The only thing I ran out of was time. Found a woman who was everything to me. Gave me everything in life I'd ever need. Can't wait to see her on the
That's what I mean. I'm late to this. That's what Maureen, that's why I think she was trying to tell me, you know, imagine we've needed this, you know, and that's why I wonder why. I wonder, like, because you know there are people that are filming and doing this kind of thing around town.
Why do you keep saying that? That's
There are.
The most
You're doing
important
it.
thing I have to tell you is
live video.
it's closing time and you need to get the fuck out of here.